Whenever you first look at the Madsen LMG, you have to think, what a very unusual design. It's probably something that didn't last very long since it's from the early 1900s, but honestly, that would be a complete mistake assuming that. The Madsen LMG was originally developed in 1896 and went into production in 1902. Now, the first few years of production, the gun was a little rough. There were some hiccups that they had, but after 1907, the gun pretty much hit full stride and stayed in production until around 1955. There were roughly 50 different countries that purchased this from the Madsen Company in over 14 different calibers. If you wanted it made in a particular caliber, they could do it. And why? Because of the way that the gun was made. This is probably one of the most unique designs that I have ever seen and have been enamored with it ever since I was a kid. Now, first off, one of the most unique things about the Madsen LMG is the magazine. Where most magazines have feed lips, the Madsen does not. The only thing that holds the rounds in there is this little clip right here. There's a mag spring in here that forces the rounds down into the feed tray. But other than that, you don't have to worry about feed lips getting bent out of shape because you don't have them on this. Another thing that's a bit different about the LMG or the Madsen LMG, you have a monopod back here. Now this twists, and not only does it have a regular thread right here, there's a reverse thread up here, so it lengthens it from top to bottom. Whenever they designed this, they really thought it out well. Fits up right here just like that and puts it on a more level plane. If you don't need the monopod, just take it out. Now, two more unique features about the Madsen LMG is that it is a bottom eject. You rack your bolt, your dust cover comes down, and your brass ejects out the bottom right here. Now, second is your three-position selector. Now, most three-position selectors are safe, semi, and full. With the Madsen, it's a little different. You have safe right here, you have eject right here in your second position, and third is your full. This does not have an option for a semi-automatic. Your second position right here, your eject, that blocks the hammer from dropping whenever you're kicking out live rounds. That's the only way to do it, because if this wasn't right here, you couldn't get a live round out. Otherwise, you'd have to fire it. And then your full auto, you just rock and roll all the way till you run out of rounds or release the trigger. Now, different calibers that this came in was 6.5 by 55, 8 Mauser, 7 Mauser, 30-06, 303 British, 7.62 NATO. It's just amazing at how well this thing ran on all the different types of ammunition and all the different areas that it was used. Now let's take a look inside and see what makes this a really amazing and unique design. So first off, we'll open up the top cover right here. You swing your lever right there, that pops up, and then pull this out to the side. Then we will raise this up. And then now we will pull out our lock mechanism here. Now, immediately looking at the lock mechanism here, you'll see that this is like no other design out there. You don't have a bolt that reciprocates back and forth. This is kind of based on a upside down Martini Henry action. Now you have a feeder lever right here. The round comes in, dumps in right there, that pushes it, and then your lock or your breech will go down. It's just an amazing design. And to think that this was produced from 1902 to 1955 just blows me away. Tolerances were perfect on this. They weren't too tight, they weren't too loose. There's very little on this thing to go wrong. But the trouble is, whenever it did, you had problems because it was almost impossible to get it stuck around out of here. So basically what you had to do was just pull the whole barrel assembly out, put a new one in. Now, unlike other machine guns at the time, which are belt feds, it'll take a couple minutes to change a barrel. With the Madsen LMG, it 10 to 15 seconds you could swap a barrel out. Now, no other MG had that really up until probably the 30s or 40s. Now, all of this led to the Madsen being one of the most long-lived light machine guns of all time. Going into service in 1902, it is still being used in various different areas. Now, there's still some in use in Brazil with police forces down there, and there's still some being used in the Ukraine war. Now, there's really no other light machine gun out there with this kind of history. Starting from the Russo-Japanese War, World War I, World War II, up to now, this thing has had some staying power, and it's all because that it was a good design. Now, it's like no other design out there, but still though, it worked. Like the Luger pistol, there was very few design changes along that during its production. It's just like the Madsen LMG. Now, with this gun being in service for 123 years, you have to wonder if the guys at Madsen back in the day that were designing this and then producing it thought that this would be running this long. I mean, it's a well-made gun. It was an expensive gun at the time, and it's a very unorthodox and unique design, but its staying power has made it this long-lived. Well, you got to wonder, it's like, how many more years will this thing stay running with police and some of the different wars? I mean, they virtually don't wear out, but still, it's a very cool and amazing piece. And it just blows me away just seeing this in the history of them. Now, this one right here is a 40s and 50s Portuguese contract gun, but you still see them from Chile, all different, the Danish guns. It's just, you got to wonder how many are left out there still running in the wild and still running really good. Now, there you have it. That's just a quick run over of the Madsen LMG, the longest serving light machine gun in history. Thanks for watching. Now, if you've got any suggestions or guns that you'd like to see us go over, hit us up. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching.